Hello, and thank you for joining us. Today I will be interviewing Mr. Amadou Omar Tiam. Mr. Tiam is an air quality engineer and odor expert at the Ministry of Agriculture in Ontario. He studied challenges in odor control and regulations in agriculture industry and works on future odor regulations. Mr. Thiam, in Ontario, odor regulation does not apply to agriculture industry. Yet, the odor expert at the Ministry of Agriculture, you are often faced with many cases involving odor emissions. Can you describe for us the approach your organization takes in dealing with odor nuisance for the agriculture industry?
Thank you for the question. I would say that yes, odor regulation do not apply directly to the agricultural industry, but we have different guidelines, different acts that help farmers to reduce their agricultural odor emissions. We have our MDS guideline, our setback system, the minimum distance separation that helps siding livestock buildings from other land use. And also we have our normal farm practice that kind of help farmer and to look at what kind of practices what we consider normal through our Nutrient Management Act. And we have also all our communication and extension work that we do with the farmer. That means we have at least 18 engineers, 7 environmental officers that are spread across the province that help farmer during a nuisance complaint to mitigate, to talk, to explain, and to implement good management practice.
Okay, so even though the odor regulation does not apply, you do have other incentives that allows you to work with the industry. Is that correct?
Exactly. That we don't have or say like odor regulation applying to the farm, but we have like our nutrient management practice, our best management practice that show farmer how to land apply properly the material, how to store it properly, and also how to keep your livestock building in a shape so to reduce odor. So we have our ventilation guidelines. All those things help the farm industry to reduce the odor. Now, of course, we have complaints. Our complaints are, we have, I would say 60% of our complaints are because of odor, but when there is a complaint, we kind of initiate a mediation process with the farmer and the complainant, but we also help the farmer to understand what he needs to do and how to implement those effective best management practice. Now, in our farm community, when you talk about best management practice, you have to be, the cost have to be acceptable, the technology have to be efficient, but also it have to be applicable to the farm. So basically, that's the way we deal with the complaint. And if the complaint doesn't really, if we try to solve the issue from the complaint, we could not resolve it. Now we have what we call normal farm practice board that will hear the farmer and the complaint, and that will give a hearing about that and a decision about is that complaint founded or not.
So the response from the industry is generally, aside from some exceptions, is generally good? Yeah.
Absolutely. Like in general, we have, as I said, like 40% of our complaint is because of odor, and 98% of them are solved by our field staff. Only 2% of them go to the normal farm practice board. So we are very effective from year to year, actually, to resolve those complaints that are coming from the agricultural sector and our area. And that being said, is because of the presence of the field staff we have across the province, as I said before, the 18 engineers, the environmental official from Ministry of Environment and Climate Change, and also the environmental specialists that are present when there is a call about a complaint about a farmer. We are there, we are on the ground, help the farmer, help the complainant to understand, because this is a reality. When you have farm buildings, it will smell, but there are things that we can do to reduce them. There are things we can do to increase the understanding and to increase the cohabitation in our rural area.
Thank you. Now, with the impingement of cities on agricultural land, do you think odor nuisance complaints are increasing?
So we've been through our contact center, agricultural contact center. We've been monitoring the call we have on the complaints from agricultural sector. So since 2010, every year in average, we have around 160 complaints. Not only from odor, but from odor, from noise, from dust, light, and vibration, and flies, and so on. And as I said before, 40% of those complaints are from because of noise. Now, the most common complaint we have is usually related to land application. And land application, as you know, will happen not that frequent, and it happen in a short time. After that, the odor dissipate, and we can easily resolve those complaints. Yes, there is an impact. Farm size, our number of farms in Ontario is reduced. It's getting reduced because of the extension of the urban area, but at the same time, also we notice that the farm size are increasing, and that also adds to another issue to us.
Thank you. Now, would it make sense to put odor regulations in your industry?
In my own opinion, I don't think it will make sense to make odor regulation in our industry. If you think about it, we have more than 20,000 livestock farms in Ontario. We have more than 12 million acres of agricultural lands. So if you want to kind of regulate all that, it's going to be very complicated. The other thing is right now, since 1976, we have our minimum distance separation setback, and it's been working very well. We did compare it to the other setback system that exists, for example, the one in Minnesota, and it's quite comparable. And we were also able to reduce and minimize our number of complaints from odor.
Now, what do you think is needed, the field of odor assessment and control in the agriculture industry? Are you lacking of something?
Well, what will be needed is a standardized metric that is understandable by everyone. Right now, in the field of the measurement, yes, I do understand it. Yes, most of the people working in the field do understand it, but it's very hard for general public to understand really what is the one odor unit. So how do we characterize that? So that is very hard to understand. The other thing is also put some real number, some real efficient number on some mitigation technique, and also see how we can reduce the cost of those mitigation techniques.
So basically, if I understand right, adapting the odor regulation of one odor unit to being a realistic level to achieve, is that some way to put it?
No, that's from our sister ministry, Ministry of Environment and Climate Change. And under that reg, we kind of agricultural exam because the reason I mentioned before. But what is important to understand is in our area of work, there is kind of a constant understanding that yes, we will create odor, but we have a way to minimize it. We have through our Nutrient Management Act, through our minimum distance separations, planning, design, and the best management practice, and also we have cost share program for the farmer. We are successful in reducing the number of complaints we have from the agricultural sector.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Thiam. Thank you.